I'm back. Let's talk about it. Where was I? What was I doing? What's going on with freight today? What went on with freight last week? Let's talk about it. Anyways, stay tuned. Check one. Hey. Good morning. How are you? I am fine. Welcome to the 190th day of the year. And let me get to some. I'm way out of practice, so let's get some stuff straightened out here first. Sorry, it's been a minute, and I will explain why it's been a minute. It's been over a week and a day that I haven't been live, so I apologize if you count on this stuff. Let's see. Let's change this live. All right. So edit. Let me fix the YouTube stuff first, so we don't get any. We don't get some trouble. So do that. Save and then I know I usually do this during the intro, but I was just trying. My little thing that my wife bought me, this background thing, is kind of failing. I gotta see if I can't jerry rig the legs, because the legs are like, we give up. So I gotta figure that out. So, all right. So we've saved that. All right. Yep, we fixed that. Good to do. Good to go. Good deal. Good to go. With, I don't know, however you want to do it. I wasn't in Vegas, Joe Bravo. So anyways, so on Friday the 29th, I flew out to Reno, Nevada, and Sterling had invited me to the wedding. Sterling and Red Lady invited me to the wedding. And at first, the wife and I were going to go, but then I decided not to. And then after watching one of Sterling's videos, I felt, well, I need to. And there's a whole story behind that. And at that point, my wife couldn't get the time off, so I just flew out there myself because we were going to drive, take a rental car, and just, because my wife has never been west of I-35 for the most part. So I wanted her to see, what Wyoming looks like and all that stuff. So Salt Lake and all that. Perfect time of year to go through all that area. So anyways, I flew out to Reno, spent the night in Reno. I got there like at midnight, spent the night there, and then I spent 2 nights in Fallon at Sterling's house, and then spent the last night in Reno because my flight was like at 4 a.m. And I ended up missing my connecting flight. Hold Hold on. And sorry, that distracted me. And then I didn't get home till Tuesday evening on the 2nd. So Wednesday I was backed up with work, so that's why I didn't go live Wednesday morning. I thought I would go live Friday, but Friday it was go time because the 4th of July had created a situation in freight. I had a truck that landed in North Carolina on Wednesday late afternoon, so we weren't finding anything, and the volumes on Friday were just horrid. So we finally found something that got them back west from the southeast there, and that took pretty much most of the morning to find something that worked, and by that point everything else, and then Jeff needed my help, so that's kind of what happened with that. So Jeff got his 3rd lease truck up and running, so we've got Shannon, and 2 others. They're yellow. The yellow truck that I did a little YouTube short on, that's the 2nd lease truck. I went and looked at it, and then the dealer fixed a few things and polished it and sent it up to Michigan, where Jeff took a look at it, grabbed it, and everything's good to go. So that's where we're at. So not a whole lot of load finding last week except for Friday, and Friday it was just kind of the volumes were just horrible. I mean, just like I'm talking like 400 loads coming out of like Texas, that kind of crap. Speaking of Texas, if you're heading towards Houston, dynamics are going to change because of the hurricane. I know it's only a Cat 1, and it's it's going to go. I'm not good with big words, sorry. Charity, I will call you after this feed. So I apologize. Up through Memphis, but I mean the winds are only going to be 25 miles an hour. It's not going to be a big deal. Just maybe some rain events or whatever. So, but if you're heading to Houston right now, you might want to take a look at things, make sure that where you're going is going to be open and all that stuff. So, what else? But we had a good time in Nevada. Shannon was up there. So it was, there was a couple times that she went live. There was a couple of times that Sterling Wheel went live. Go check out his channel. He's usually in the chat, but he probably won't be because it's kind of late for him. And then I never went live. I put up a couple of recorded videos, and that's it. The other thing I will mention is that for some reason the carnivore thing is coming up again. So Shannon's on a carnivore diet thing, so make sure you check out her channel and her journey with that. And then check out my OG channel because I am also starting. I started yesterday. And then, but also on this channel, there is a 40-day carnivore thing that you can watch playlist, but it's not as there's a lot. I need to watch that because there's a lot of mistakes I've made. So we're going back. So that's creating some controversy with some people, but whatever, it's social media. What are you going to do? Right. We'll take a look at some rates. The volumes were looking fairly decent this morning. If you were trying to book super early this morning, you might have gotten a last minute kind of deal. What I found was, and here's the pattern that you might want to look at when you're looking at load boards. If you see a lot of loads posted, let's say there's 100 loads within a 100-mile radius of where you're at, and only 5 of them have posted rates, they're wanting you to name the rate, right? They're wanting you to set the anchor first. And that usually means that these loads need to be moved. I mean, this is my experience talking, not because I'm some expert. That's just what I've experienced. That usually means they want you to cut your own throat. They want you to price it hopefully lower than they're willing to move it at. So, or they're wanting to move it at. And the reason being is because they know that drivers can be their own worst enemy. And if they're desperate, they're I'll take it for $1,200. There was something that was like $500 off, and I'm like, yeah, we're not doing that. And but if you see 100 loads and the rates are posted, that means they're trying to drive the rates down because they know they're kind of kind of get it in the shorts later. It's a give and take, just like you take $3 a mile to Florida because you know you're going to get $1.50 out, that kind of thing. Brokers do the same thing. So what I found was this morning in some of the areas I was looking at that not a whole lot of rates posted, but there were some decent volumes posted. So I mean, it's today will be interesting. I want to see what it's going to look like at the end of this week. So I've got 2 full-time trucks, well 3 kind of, and then I've got 2 or 3 that use me part-time. So but let's see. All right, let's go with the comments, and then we'll take a look at some volumes. So, also check out Sterling's channel. I was able to shoot some tools. I got to shoot an HK for the first time. That was kind of cool. I can't hit the side of a barn. I need some training, so I'm gonna look into some training things around here because I obviously I need it. So. And do some dry fire training. But anyways, talk about that stuff on the OG channel. So Gen Z, what's up? Good morning, all. Been a while. Yes, it has. I apologize. There's okay Pam. Good morning. Pigtail, glad you're back. Missed you. Well, I'm glad I'm missed. That means people care. And that's a good feeling to have. Good morning. All checked in now, says Shannon. Now I have time for coffee with ghee. That's always a strange word. Ghee. But ghee is good. CDN, welcome back, Steve. You have lots to update. New tux, new barbecue, starting a new challenge, stories from your journey. Fill up your coffee and sit back and enjoy. I am literally on the last coffee that was in the pot, and then my wife had to make instant because I'm an a-hole like that. So, So yeah, I couldn't have morning coffee without coffee, but I'd already drinking like 3 of these, so you know we're feeling pretty good. So, but yeah, you're right. I was in a tux. That's in the community page. I did get a new grill. It was cheap because the old one died, and there'll be a video about that this morning. Or later today on the OG channel. So on the OG, Snorelord OG, type it in, you'll find it. This is my non-trucking channel. That one is. And so I'm doing 40 days of a strict carnivore diet. I've plateaued on my weight loss. Those of you look at back my videos like 10 years ago, you'll see that I was like almost 400 pounds. And, you know, from 2017... 2018, you can definitely see the weight on me. I know the beard hides a little bit, but I've plateaued, and in order to reset the button, hit the reset button, I've decided to go carnivore. Shannon and I had some great conversations over the weekend while we were in Nevada talking about health stuff and all that. So my weight has crept up, so we got to get that. We got to nip that in the bud there. Joe Bravo, what happens in Vegas? I've never been to Vegas. Still haven't been to Vegas. This is the first time I've been to Nevada since I was like a baby. Literally, like I think it was like 2. And yeah, it was pretty out there. It was nice and quiet. Here in Missouri we got the cicadas, so at night it's like a big concert out there. Out there, not so much. And I enjoyed, there's only one thing I didn't get to do out there that I wanted to do, and that was take a long walk down the road that Sterling lives on. I wanted to do that, but I wasn't able to do that. But got to see all the stars at night. We got to go shooting. We got to play guitar. I wanted to show Sterling some stuff on his guitar. He's got a nice guitar. I refuse to play his bass because he's got a very high-end, high-dollar bass, and I don't feel comfortable playing somebody else's high-end equipment. And what else? I wish I could have slept in Tuesday morning at the hotel in Reno, but I had to leave out at like 3. It was crazy. So, Tom, good morning from a federal pen. Hope they don't keep me. Hope you don't have any weapons on the truck. SST, what's up? Joe Bravo, what your old lady, you and your old lady never did a Western romantic turnaround with you? No, we have not done that. So, Charity, good morning. Gary Cook, good morning. I'm listening from home in Montgomery, Illinois. Good deal. I'm thinking about joining Like Trucking. Sounds like a great company to drive for. Yes. I agree. So, yeah. Put in your application. Romeland, what's up? Good morning. Cheap Freight Hauler, good morning. Ryan Derry, there he is. Hello from Presidio. Am I saying that right? Presidio, Texas. I need you to dispatch me. I am trying to avoid outside carriers riding dirty, but you can email me at snorelord@yahoo.com and we can have a conversation at least. Chief Freight Hauler, Georgia is on a downward slide. Yes. That's why I'm not telling people to go to Georgia anymore. So there's that. So, but the Midwest has woken up again. So what I'm looking for mostly is consistency on both directions. So as long as Georgia doesn't drop too much, Midwest to Southeast is kind of the lanes that I've been trying to stick in. I'm not going to Denver. I'm not going to Orlando. I'm not going to upstate New York. I'm avoiding the feast and famine pattern and just eating well between both directions. That's kind of what I shoot for. So T-Bone says, good morning. STTN, good morning. Still waiting? Tell them to hurry up, man. Did they load that truck before you? So, but the that shipper you're going to, just keep the broker informed that shipper you're going to should be fairly lenient, but I could be wrong. So keep me posted on that. Shannon says, I do make a great White Russian drink. Don't want the AI to think I'm talking about Russia or whatever. Yes, and that probably caused some havoc at the Sterling household. It made for some funny live streams. Chasing Ghost checking in. Safe for now. Hurricane Barrel. Good deal. Glad you're safe. Just seeing a radioactive hazmat load posted on the board. It's crazy, Cheap Freight Hauler. I've been seeing a lot more hazmat loads posted. And I don't know if I'd be that brave. I would find a hazmat bonded carrier and stick with them. No one and dones on the hazmat. I wouldn't want that responsibility as a broker or a carrier, really. I'm staring at this ghost town of a lowboard like an old 1800s Wild West duel. No, they are only working on me. Well, good. At least they're on you, so they didn't put that other truck before you. We just had 92-mile-per-hour wind gust. Chasing Ghost, all I haul is hazmat. Now, are you on the spot market, though? Because I used to haul a lot of hazmat as a company driver, and I also hauled a lot of hazmat when I was at Landstar. I did not renew my hazmat endorsement because Jeff said, I ain't getting hazmat endorsement, so I never thought I would need it. I could always upgrade it when I needed to, but there's just you got to have a department that knows what they're doing. In my opinion, because I've been given wrong placards before. So, hell, I had, and depending on the company, there was a couple of Landstar agents that didn't know anything about hazmat. Like, I had one yell at me because she told me I needed my placards. I'm like, no, the shipper supplies those, and Landstar has to make sure that they are the right placards. So unless you really know what you're doing in the spot market, it's a risky deal. I've thought about getting hazmat from my carrier. I don't know what that does to the insurance. Like I talked to one dude. It was funny. We were both at the Dollar General in Fulton because I was there a lot, and he was a reefer, but he had an extended like this truck was spec'd to do heavy haul. He bought the truck, and he does temp controlled hazmat. And as a single truck carrier, his insurance was, and this was back in 2019, 2020, his insurance was $60,000 a year for one truck. So I know that the hazmat can up the insurance quite a bit. I love hauling hazmat so far. Fines can be devastating. Yes, I mean you get one spillage in the wrong area. I remember there was an aerial view of a Landstar truck that was leaking fluid on top of this bridge, and they had to shut it down. And I can't even imagine how expensive, cleanup is and all that stuff. So, Ghost says, when I was at Landstar, I went from show freight to hazmat, mostly pulled hazmat. I pull tanker now and pull a roll-off, haz and chemical waste. There you go. So you're probably making some true good money, because the show freight and hazmat is the highest, besides the specialized heavy haul at Landstar. That's the best paying stuff. I specialize in fireworks this time of year. I love fireworks because they go to these out of the middle of nowhere places, and it puts you in some interesting situations. And they're usually multi-stop and they're light. The fireworks are easy. So even though it says explosives on the side, it's not as explosive as like hauling dynamite or something like that. Just got an insurance quote for a single truck hazmat tanker, and it came back $18,450. That's not as high as I thought, but that's still higher than what the average single truck operator is getting, I would think, especially where you're at. So, but that would, yeah. I mean, like I said, normally I say I don't see a whole lot of hazmat, but and here's the deal. If you see a hazmat load on the spot market, you call that broker and say, okay, how many of these do you need? How often do you have these loads? And create a relationship with them, because they don't want one and done carriers that I can think of, unless they're just that cheap, right? They know they're going to have to pay a little bit of money for this, because they probably quoted their customer pretty good for that as well. So, all right. We'll take a look at some volumes, shall we? Load availability. A lot going on in the freight world. CH announced another layoff. I just saw that John Deere they're getting ready to lay off 600 people. The American icon, John Deere is put a plant down in Mexico. So they're laying off 600 people over 3 plants. And that will affect me because I do a lot of John Deere freight. So, the economy is still doing what the economy is going to do. And the circus that will be our election is already started. So, there's already false propagandas out there, and it's going to get ugly. I don't care what side of the fence you're on. It's just going to get ugly, and we'll see what that does to the American spirit. Let's look at load availability on 123 here. Good morning, Jerome. How's it going? Let's see here. Video file, extra, share screen. Oh, let me before I do that, let's get DAT up here. I've been booking more and more freight on low boards on brokers that have their own boards. I've been doing that a lot more, but I still like the rate check feature. You still need something to check the rates, because you don't want to be lowballed and not know it. You could sit there and say, well, I only get what I need. Well, what if you can get $500 more, right? Because guess what? That engine don't care if you're getting what you need, right? So, let's see, 123. Let's check them first. 48065 if you want to try them out for 30 days for free. Those of you who use my code, thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right, Arizona is still pretty decent, so I'm waiting for it to come down a little bit on the volumes. Once that California volume comes down, if it does come down, that you'll start to notice the rates start to slide a little bit. Let's take a look at Arizona. Let's see what's coming out there. Of course, your best lane is going to be up to Oregon and Washington. Best paying lane as far as paying, not best lane to end up in. Let's see, Richfield. This picks up July 31st. So there looks like they're looking ahead. So let's sort this by pickup date. Let's see what's all shoving out today. Almost $2 a mile to go to Alabama. No post, no posted rate. Of course, $3 a mile to go up to Oregon. A lot of non-posted rates. They're wanting you to set this anchor, folks. Let's take a look at this Nogales to Bainbridge, Pennsylvania. All right, Chasing Ghosts. Thanks for stopping in. Picks up today. How old's this posting? 6 hours, so it might already be gone, but they're at rate check's got it at 57. They don't have a rate on this. It's been as high as 57, as low as 44. So the rates are all over the place, but we got to pay attention to is the tolls. $184.40 in tolls. And of course, fuel is higher. A friend of mine that lives out in California, he was in L.A. and he showed the gas prices. It's crazy, $7.40 a gallon for gas and diesel. Unbelievable. $4 a mile to go to Denver. Here's your lane right here, Phoenix to Denver, and then from Denver, take a shorty to Kansas City and get back to the Midwest from there. Or hell, at this rate, you can, at this $4 a mile freight rate, you can afford the deadhead a little bit to like Hutchinson or Wichita. But no details. They're at 33. See if you can get that sucker up to 36. I doubt it, but you might. Phoenix to Decatur, Georgia. Oh, here we go. Phoenix to Lenexa. So this is the one I would probably pick. Get you to Kansas City. No posted rate, but see where we're at on this. I would take this over the Denver run. It's a little bit less per mile, but at least you wouldn't have to worry about the deadhead to Denver. I don't know. What you do is you do the math. You do the Phoenix to Denver, and then deadhead to Kansas City, or take one of their poor paying loads out of there, and do the math on that versus just Phoenix to Lenexa straight. Obviously, double the miles, but if you probably make more. Probably going to Denver first and then just deadheading to Kansas City if needed. So, but I would pick at least a light load coming out that went towards Kansas City because then it protects the profit from the first load. So, Randy says I'm late. I am late. I apologize. A week ago I did Phoenix, South Carolina for 6,200. Excellent. So. And then look at where you're going. If it's I would think that Arizona to Michigan would have to pay more than, say, Arizona to Missouri or Arizona to Kentucky or Tennessee because those markets are better than Michigan right now. Like Missouri's 538 outbound, Michigan's 259 outbound, Kentucky's 287 outbound, Tennessee's 419 outbound. So Tennessee's better than Kentucky, Missouri's better than Michigan. So that might be the rate difference. Illinois is 636 outbound. Indiana 740 outbound. Georgia is 771 outbound. Let's take a look at Georgia. Let's see what's going on with Georgia here. Thank you for your membership too, all yous. All right, let's sort this by highest rate. Let's see where all the long haul stuff's going. Not quite $2 a mile to go to Idaho. They're paying better, obviously, to go to Northeast. The rates going into the Northeast are pretty good. Shannon did pretty good out of Nevada, going up to upstate New York. Dalton to the Bronx. If you live up there, that might be a good load. 2,400, 288 a mile. See what the tolls on that one is. I think my internet's being a little bit slow. Oh, it's fine now. College Chiefs got it at 21. They're at 24. Let's see where the $133 in tolls. That's not bad, actually. Must be just the bridge, and that's it. Yeah, everything's going northeast. They got several of those Bronx loads. PA, so let's do inbound. Let's see what's going into Georgia. What's the highest paying load going into Georgia? 4,200 to go. Oh, where is this? San Luis. Come on. I can't even read that. California. Obispo. I'm slaughtering that. 13% below my cost per day. So not great. Food grade trailer required, tracking required, of course. It goes without saying. Let's do the highest rate per mile. Let's see what the shore haul stuff coming out of Georgia is. Going into Georgia. South Carolina. You can have depends. Look, Pine Bluff to Atlanta, $381 a mile. Let's take a look at this one. I mean, it doesn't pick up till, it picks up today. Wonder why it's so high. It's probably multi-stop. Oh, hazmat. There you go, more hazmat. So what you would want to do is look at your insurance quote for the hazmat, right? And then do the math. If you're making like 20% more revenue and the insurance is only 5% more than what you're paying, you got to look at the gross and the net. It's kind of like, if you switch from van to reefer, obviously your costs are going to go up, but, what's it look like on the net side? So if you gross $30,000 more a year and you're able to take home 15 after expenses, then it's a worthwhile investment. The thing with hazmat, not as much with reefer, but the thing with hazmat is the risk. What if you have a spillage? What if you have a wreck? It's going to be twice as much to clean that up. So if you're only doing 2 hazmat loads a year, is it really worth what the extra $4 or $5 grand you might make? Probably not. You would want to do hazmat full time, which obviously increases your time of risk. But Kentucky to Georgia, that's a good lane. North Carolina to Georgia is a good lane. What I do on the short stuff is I'm looking for stuff at $1,000 a day, like this one here. 388 miles by Holly, Mississippi to Locust Grove, Georgia. Picks up tomorrow. See if it says hazmat on it. Drop trailer. Okay, that's why it's so high. So, obviously. Here's Hopkinsville, Kentucky to College Park, Georgia. So, here's another one. Rogersville, Alabama to Tifton, Georgia. That $274 a mile, $1,000 for 380 miles. I know I'm roughing the numbers here. I'm not giving you exact numbers here. Cargo Chiefs got it at 963. They're at 1033. They're doing the odd number thing. Rolled fabrics. I know where this is picking up. Been there, done that. Looks like it's a one and done, so that's a good. It might be a good route. End up in Tifton, you can get a decent load coming out. Although the rates are probably going to drop a little bit, like Cheap Freight Hauler said. See what Missouri's doing. Let's see, outbound Kansas City to Hopkins, Minnesota, 216 a mile, 950, 3,500 to go to Maine. That's actually pretty good for what I normally see. Sort this by highest rate. See where the longest load or highest paying load is going. 4,200 to go to Oregon. That's P&G and Neely's Landing. St. Charles and Nampa, Idaho. That's going to be shopping carts. That's why that's so high. Let's take a look at this. Doesn't pick up till August 7th. 5,300 pounds. Has carts. So who knows how many stops are on this and how many days. You know, the mileage goes out the window. You got to look at the amount of days it would take to do these loads. If the rate per day makes sense, then you're good to go. If it doesn't make sense, then you choose a one and done and you're better off. And obviously PLS Logistics has a bunch of these every single day. Yep. So here's something cool, right? That you can do on this board. And then I'll get to Randy's request there. Yeah, 2 extra stops. So they're actually putting the stops on here. Now, you can go to, so you scroll down on the right-hand side, you can go to Company Loads and hit View Loads. So you can only see what PLS has, right? And then you could put in your search. You know, you can kind of see where all their freight is. So like if you edit this, you can actually put in. So what you do is that comes up, see 739 loads. So let's do St. Charles here. Going anywhere, any date. And we'll put this in van because we don't want to, if they have flatbed, we don't want that, or reefer or whatever. 128 loads. So now we can see everything that they have. Then we can sort this by date. Pickup date. And boom, now you can see all their shopping cart loads. And beyond that, Rolla to Chicago. And see, and what you can do is you can like, okay, what can I get going to St. Louis? And then look at the date, corresponding date, and then look through this list only and see what, you know, maybe you love doing these shopping carts, and boom, there you go. You can kind of like central in. Obviously, we're going to do Virginia over California. The Florida ones may not be too bad. Getting out there is not awesome, but, you know, it might be worth it than taking these going to California. But obviously they have a contract with this shopping cart place, so they've got them for the next month. I mean, look at this. They got 128 loads, and only a couple of them have been non-St. Charles. So what you do is, obviously that's where the freight is, and, you know, so little things like that allows you to, you know, and I do that. I haven't done it with these shopping cart loads, but that was my thing. when I was at Landstar, I would do everything I can to get back to Wagner, Oklahoma, and do the shopping cars for this agent that had them. And so I had the load that went to Albuquerque, ended up getting the load back towards Oklahoma. I would try to do an out and back scenario. And Wagner is close to the Joplin market. It's close to the Tulsa market. It's close to the Oklahoma City market. So there were several markets to choose from. And then sometimes I would two-step it. Like from Albuquerque, I think I went from Albuquerque to Dallas, Dallas to Oklahoma City, and then I went into Wagner. I don't remember specifically what I did, but but a lot of times I was ending up in Denver. So from Denver, I'd take a load to Kansas City, and then Kansas City to Oklahoma City, and then or Tulsa, and then I grab a Wagner load, if they had some. So it was a good steady gig, and the stores absolutely hate it when you bring them shopping carts. They despise it. They want you dead. So there's that. So let's take a look at reefer here. Oh wait, Randy wants Morehead City, North Carolina, Ocala, Florida. All right, so let's do that. Create new search. For what day, Randy? Morehead City's not even coming up. So either you spelled it wrong or you don't know where you're at. Here, let's do this. Let me see where he's at. Do. Well, let's do Charleston. How's that? Charleston for tomorrow. So let me get back this and add the screen. Oh. Do. All right. Just 1-0 in Morehead. Oh, 1. Oh, okay. Well, let's try that then. Morehead. Hey, there it is. Look at that. I knew Randy didn't spell it right. Lame. I'm not one to talk. For tomorrow. Obviously for van, search. You got 3 choices, brother. And they're all the same thing. Direct traffic's got Wagram, North Carolina to Winter Haven, which I believe is where you actually want to go. Picks up at noon tomorrow, delivers at 4 a.m. on Wednesday. 13,000 pounds, 564 miles, so 1,200. They're at 1,200. A little low. If contracted for an outbound or inbound shipment. I don't know what that means. So that's what you got going on. Tolga, what's up? Good morning. Gary Cook says, I see California's huge wildfire going on. Will California burn up? Dude, every year they got a wildfire going on. This is like it's like you got fire season and construction season. And I think that's the only 2 seasons out in Southern Cal at least. So, and that could affect things too, but every year it's the same. It's the same thing, so remember when we all last night I watched the wife and I watched Demolition Man. Remember that with Sylvester Stallone, and they talked about the big earthquake that kind of screwed everything up, and that hasn't happened yet either. So I'm sure there's all kinds of natural disasters that could happen in California. We'll take a look at DHE real quick. See what volumes are doing. Refresh this. All right, Alabama's good. Arizona's good. Look at Arizona, 448 in, 821 out. Oh, no, that's Arkansas, sorry. But Arizona's not bad, 610 in, 781 out. California's got almost 4 coming out, 2521 going in. Florida's not great, of course. Illinois looks good. Oh, look at Illinois, 2100 and change going in, and 2648 coming out. Indiana looks good. The Midwest is woken back up. Awakened. Don't go woke. Just be awake. Kansas, 353 in, 519 out. So Kansas looks good. Which that explains a couple of things, conversations I had this morning. Kentucky, over 1,000 coming out. Louisiana, 656 coming out. Michigan, 841. Michigan is not great, guys. More in than out. Minnesota, not good at all. Missouri's not bad. 831 in, 1190 out. This is all for Van, by the way. North Carolina has flopped a little bit. Slipped a little bit. Let's see what Georgia's doing. 1757 out, 2894 in. So it's slipping, but not much. Nevada looks good. 275 in, 550 out. New York, not so much. Ohio looks decent. Ohio looks pretty even. Oklahoma, no good. Pennsylvania, more in than out. Sorry, I keep messing that up. Texas is more in than out as well. So Virginia, a lot of volume in Virginia, but I still struggle to get a good rate out of there a lot of times. And then, of course, Wisconsin, 1213 out. Wisconsin's not on fire, but you should be able to get a decent rate out of there. And, of course, West Virginia they got their stupid question mark in the way. Not that West Virginia matters. More out than in by 9 loads. So Gary says prisoners are ice cubes. They never move, right? I'm waiting for them to come up with something that, like, there's so many predictions of that movie that are true now. Like, it's scary. It's like Ray Bradbury with Fahrenheit 451. It's kind of crazy. So, all right, guys and gals, I'm gonna get off here. Sorry for the absence last week. Like I said, life just gets in the way, man. It's tough doing YouTube, and since the majority of my material here is live, I don't do a whole lot of recorded videos, which I should, so I can space them out and keep in the algorithms or whatever. But I'm a horrible YouTuber. I'm not that good. So, but we try. That's the important part. You can try. You may not be good at the spot market now, but you'll get better as long as you're trying and can afford your mistakes. So, with that being said, strength for today, hope for tomorrow, and we'll see hopefully Wednesday. So, that being said, peace.